Good day, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Another fun-filled morning. Okay, it's actually very early in the morning. It's 2:10 in the morning. I just wake up now, so we might as well do things. Current blood sugar is 9.9 according to this. I just recently did a blood sugar and it's 11 something, 11.4, 11.7, I think. And I haven't got a new correction yet. I don't know, I can't get anything to correct it. But all those blues are correction, they're busy working away. I was mostly in the goal area till very recently, where I kind of have popped up. I don't know. Time in range yesterday was pretty good. I was 93% time in range. We have a win. Above 5, we're kind of on the borderline. It should be below 4%. Okay? We're a little bit higher there. 93% in range. 2% was below 3.9. I don't know when that was. I'll have to go back, take a look. And average sugar was 7.2. Okay, so let's go back here and see when I dropped. Oh, it was around 1 p.m. not a.m. Okay, now that we've taken a look at my rating, today we're going to talk about I'm not going to go low anymore and people's thoughts around that subject. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Being low can be very scary, especially when your body reacts. For me, I don't feel lows. I feel when I get high, I get very thirsty. Tired, but I'm not feeling them when I go low. I don't know, just the brain. So a lot of people, because it is such a negative feeling, will take it to mean, I'm not going to be low ever again. I don't want to be low ever again. So I'm just going to cut back my insulin. And in doing so, they raise their blood sugars to unsafe level. And you know what? Your body gets used to this. There's an awful lot of diabetics walking around with higher blood sugars. Now I'm talking 11 is not great. That is not great, but it's not prolonged. And complications can set in when you're at prolonged situations. Low blood sugars come from either too much exercise, not enough food, too much medication. So people go to the easiest and say, I'm going to cut back the insulin, but they don't do it with medical help. And they raise the amount of blood sugar they have carrying in their body. Oh, yes, I'm not going to go low ever again. But you're opening yourself up for so much more complications. Diabetics don't heal themselves. Diabetics, with the help of their doctor, come up with a plan. Great, you don't want to be low all the time. You need to be comfortable with your blood sugars. And maybe you were dropping too low. But people will cut back and be overly aggressive. And this is not a popular idea amongst medical team. I know what's best for me, and they get it working in their mind, and they clarify every point in their mind. I was there. I had a severe low while at work one day, and my boss at the time was an individual who really shouldn't manage people, let's put it that way. And he put pressure on me saying, I need you at work. And if you're going to go low, we'll have to find someone else to. Excuse me? So in order to keep the job, you're telling me I have to put my life in danger? I was already working nights in a convenience store. Talk about not being safe. So why do we need to take control of our life in such a negative way? Because people only see that this is the only way they're going to be safe and not to go low. They're going to keep saying, I'm not going to go low again. We're going to cut back our insulin. And chances are they're going to do it drastically. Maybe not every single case, but there is enough cases out there that treating their blood sugars low is going to cause issues for them. People forget our bodies are designed to be at a normal range. You start feeling sick when you get out of that range, and you start feeling sick when you go lower than the range. Okay. That's your body saying, we don't like these two. Your doctor is trying to get you into that optimum range where you can live and go and take care of yourself. Blood sugars are the key. So if you're having trouble being low and you've had a situation with your doctors, your whatever, make sure that you go and you speak to a doctor about where you want to be. Don't just try cutting back your insulin and, oh, yes, I don't want to be starting an IV. I don't want to go crazy. But so many of us do that. I cut back my insulin so much that I think that contributed a bit to my eye problems. Now, I was lucky that my retinopathy was controlled by laser. Great. But I shouldn't have had to go through the laser. So where do we need to go? Okay, God forbid you do have a low blood sugar. If you have a low blood sugar, treat it and we move on. Now, if you have a severe low, call your doctor. Call your endocrinologist, your diabetic nurse, your diabetes center, and say, okay, this is what I'm low, or I had a severe low. How do I stop this from happening? Chances are they are going to cut back your blood sugar, but they're going to do it in a conservative way. I went through and the exception to the rule. I went through a time where I had 3 lows. I had my first severe low. I had a night off. Then I had my second. I had a night off. And then I had my third. Why was this? Well, my body responded with a whole bunch of sugar that was pumped into me through IVs or whatever. I went high the next day and then I dropped. So recurrent blood sugars can be a thing. Don't be afraid by lows. As people in the busy world, we get there and we try to keep pushing the lows, or not the lows, the lows. We keep pushing and saying, okay, I just have to do X. When I get X, I can do this. But the problem with that philosophy is the bar keeps changing. There's always going to be something. You're going to do better if you stop, if you're feeling shaky, treat it low, and then move on. If anyone in your business or your company says, oh, well, no, we don't know if we can trust you for being low, you have to sort this out now, then they've never had to face a life-threatening situation. And that's what this is a lot of times. Taking care of yourself. But they don't care. I've had managers on both sides. Some being in the store, some being in the head office, where they cared enough to say, okay, you had a severe low, take some time, recuperate, make an appointment, go see your doctor. And usually, if you end up in an emergency room, your doctors will say, or the emergency room, contact your endocrinologist. Wonderful. Contact your endocrinologist, revamp your plan, but just don't start cutting back your insulin on your own because you're feeling scared about having low blood sugars. Having low blood sugars is an issue, and you don't need to have to feel comfortable with this. I know, mind-boggling. There are answers out there. And once I started getting into diabetic care more and more, these answers came more relevant. And I now know that if I have a severe low, I contact my diabetic nurse and we come up with a plan. But another part that plays a role here is having the low. It's beat into the diabetes culture for many years that, oh, you did something wrong. You've taken too much insulin or you exercise too much. And it's always, I can remember my father, I would get sick with the flu or a cold. My blood sugar would go up. Why is your blood sugar? What are you eating? You shouldn't be having sugar. That's again, but I couldn't keep anything down on my stomach. So it's part of the treatment. But for a few years, it was something I did. And we, in my later life, have learned that I have a condition called labile diabetes. But now that we treat and we learn, things work out so much better. My doctor usually has a plan which 90% of the time will work. Are you ever not going to have a low again? No, unless you totally stop taking insulin. That's the only way I'm going to stop having a low. I just have to stop taking insulin. Pure and simple. But that's not a great plan. You're going to need insulin to live. Talk to your doctor first. If you have a severe low, God forbid, talk to your doctor. If you start having groups of lows, like every afternoon at 3 o'clock, you start going low. May mean you need to cut back insulin. May mean that you need to have an afternoon stack. There are other options than just cutting down on your insulin. Sometimes that is necessary, but talk to your doctor. Get a suitable answer. Every time you have a severe low and you end up in the hospital, if you end up in the hospital, get the answers and get properly treated. Don't treat thyself without the supervision of your doctor. And he will come up with a plan that could probably address what's going on. Have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.